Please don't miss the forest for the trees with these demonstrations. We have bigger issues than the political and legal battles that are playing out about ICE or deploying troops. They matter, but not as much as what I want to talk to you about. We have bigger problems at play on streets all over our country. Dozens of protests have erupted throughout the country. You know that, right? We're focused on LA, but they're all over the place. And they are all related, and we're not talking about it. So we're doing the work here at News Nation to connect the dots, and I have a lawmaker on tonight that's starting the same drive in Congress. And I'm telling you, these protests are not really just about ICE. They are a coordinated effort to recruit as many people and different types of groups that may have different ideas, but they all share a common goal: destroying the West, democracy, our country. This is the fundamentalist threat playing out. We're just not calling it that because we're not seeing it like that because we're so caught in this right versus left BS. The latest salvo after the embassy shootings, the IVF clinic, the healthcare CEO murder, the campus chaos, now it's these. It's all part of a growing fundamentalism that is the biggest threat to all of us. You got neo-nationalists in the same place as far-left radical anarchists and extreme Islamists. This is not organic. It's not just protest. It's not one community coming together to fight oppressive tactics. It's not really about ICE, I'm telling you. And most important and most dangerous is that there's clearly organization and funding of these protests. Two questions: who and why? Now, let's start with the truth. It's not uncommon for protests to receive funding and organization from political groups. I had a guy on the show who pays people to protest. I mean, that's a thing, okay, but not these. These protests are fed by dark sources with a desire for our destruction. One of the main players in organizing and funding the Los Angeles protests is a group called CHIRLA, okay? C-H-I-R-L-A, acronym. Coalition for Humane Immigration Rights, Immigrants' Rights, whatever. Dig a little, and that starts to look like a misnomer. They have received millions in government grants and state grants, but now reports are showing that there may be a foreign link, specifically from China, funding and organizing these protests. Where in China? Who in China? The pro-Chinese far-left Party for Socialism and Liberation. They're known as the PSL. They are working with CHIRLA, helping fund the protests in Los Angeles and maybe elsewhere. Remember, all the parties in China are controlled by the CCP. So this is China. And the party is pushing to destroy capitalism and the West. This is its agenda. This is what China wants. They even have a term for the effort. It's called the smokeless war, where they have this theory of how they'll destroy the West without actually taking to the battlefield. That's what they did during the anti-Israel campus protests. The PSL worked hand in glove with anti-Zionist student groups and helped organize and fund the Columbia campus encampments. Now it gets scarier. Where does the PSL get its money? Enter Shanghai-based socialist billionaire Neville Singham. 2017, he sold his tech company for about $1 billion. Reports show the same year he started funding far-left groups like the PSL to the tune of millions. Singham is not America's friend. He has deep business ties to the CCP, but also has strong ideological ties to communism, period. People who worked for him says he's an admirer of Mao, Che Guevara, Hugo Chavez, not friends of American culture. According to the New York Times, Singham has funded and developed a deep global empire of pro-China nonprofits in the media and grassroots political space, steering millions into these groups over the years, including the PSL. And guess who was associated with the PSL and other Singham-funded groups? Elias Rodriguez. Ring a bell? This scumbag, the 30-year-old Chicago man who murdered 2 Israeli staffers in cold blood last month to make a political point. Remember, he just waited to be taken in. That is fundamentalism. Now, is this Chinese sabotage part of the negotiations with China and the president and the administration? Probably not. And that is probably a mistake. You see, we are too focused on these fringe fights, fabricated division to drive podcast followings and media cycles, fringe agendas. We are missing the big picture. And you know why? Because it doesn't allow one side to have an advantage over the other. That's how stupid our politics has gotten. Look at how what is happening here is the same as the echo of what we're seeing all over the world. Look at what happened in the Middle East today. So Trump is pushing on Iran, right? And the risk of violence in response to that is on the rise because that's what Iran does. The UK just issued a dire warning to its ships in the Persian Gulf that there could be a military escalation. What do you think that means they're hearing on the intelligence side? Then hours later, our State Department announced it's evacuating personnel from the Middle East. This is why I keep saying we need to stop fighting with each other when there is a growing threat to kill all of us. We've been here before. And somehow, in our collective conscience, we get bored that if something happened, well, that's it, it happened, and it can't happen again. There's no reason to deal with the lessons of the past. That is the definition of insanity. It can happen again. Terrorism is real. Fundamentalism is real and on the rise.